what's going on, everybody? You're watching Sit Down. I'm DJ Sixsmith. Vinci's here with us. All-American, Season 2. A lot going on, man. What's up? Doing the Corona bump. That's where we're at right now.
Yeah, right. Oh, I think it's the foot. The
foot, right? I did an elbow yesterday for whatever. I'm just happy you're here. Like, you flew in from LAX this morning. That must have been a trip, right?
Yeah, I was. I had to get some counseling to up me, to encourage me to come in because I didn't want to come. I was like,
you weren't
this
feeling
Corona is serious. So I called my cousin. I called Jesse. I called my other cousin. I'm calling everyone. They're just like, nah, it's not a real thing. You know how they are, the people, the public, da. And even Jeff was just like, well, I kind of, Jeff is over 6, so, so I thought, this was a serious deal, but, I came.
So you got to the airport this morning, it was just completely dead?
Yeah, it was dead. It was like an apocalypse. I felt like I was an I Am Legend.
Wow.
Yeah,
and the flight too? Not really a lot of people?
Yeah, the flight was dead. Honestly, it was the best flight I've ever been on. It really was the best flight I've ever been on. I was like, wow. And I started thinking, I was like, everybody think that the airports is so contaminated that everybody's leaving the airports, but now the airports is clean.
Yeah.
So
the flights too?
Yeah, so I'm like, you know what? Hey.
You're in a good spot.
Yeah,
well, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad this show is going on. So what's been like doing this show and building this thing out?
Honestly, this show has been like a great process. It's been like when I got cast for it, I felt like it was family, I was familiar with like a few of the cast members already off this show. And I remember season 1, I went in for like the Spencer character like 4 different times and a whole bunch of other different characters. So it just felt I felt so familiar with it. So it wasn't like something that I was apprehensive of getting into. So I just felt so natural, and that's why, I love it. It's a great process. Everyone is cool, everyone's dope, great energy, great chemistry. It's a great show.
Well, I remember watching the real life Spencer play here in New York, and then he played in Miami a little bit, and like the fact that he has this show now is really cool. So what have been some of the big surprises about the show?
Well, now that every episode aired, I didn't want to ruin it for the Netflix folks, but I think one of the biggest was the murder of Sean. Not Sean, I'm sorry. I can't think of his name. The guy who looked like Tyrone.
Okay,
Yeah, Tyrone. I did not expect them to have like the murderer be Sean's mother. So I was like, that was a nice little twist that they had to it, because I thought there was gonna have to be, one of the characters, one of us, So I thought that was like a really good twist that they added with that.
Definitely. I think it's interesting how people have engaged with the show because they've obviously watched it on the CW, but the Netflix thing has definitely been big for you guys. So what's it been like kind of feeling it out and people finding your show in all these different places?
I remember last year I heard when it went on Netflix, it was like the second most watched show, like trending in the first month. So this year, season 2 obviously don't go on Netflix first, it's on TV. Yeah, so all the, probably like a quarter of the Netflix viewers from season 1, yeah, they're definitely watching on the app now, so it's pretty dope. And when it goes on Netflix March 17th, that's gonna be like really big, so.
Definitely. And I think the show is interesting because the sports are obviously something that people are pulled in by, but just the real life stuff that's going on too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how do you guys play with that as you unpack it on the show?
Yeah, I think the way they target and touch on like serious topics is actually like really dope. And we're like coming into season 3, they're talking about gentrification, and how they're like, I could speculate all I want about season 3 because it's not out, but like just basically how they're like kicking all the athletics out and like all the kids from the hood out and basically trying to convert it into a magnet school to where it's just like only focusing on academics. And it's like them doing that, it's kind of like the things that happen in real life, and it's kind of messed up, but it's dope to see them touching on it. So like when season 3 comes, Darnell, Spencer, and Billy Baker, they're all gonna come together with a whole bunch of others just to save, the Crenshaw. And I think it's a good message for people in real life so they can see like, yo, if we stick together and we have unity, like we can really stop what they're trying to do, when they're trying to just build these new buildings and kick all the people out.
Yeah, I mean, it's really BS when you think about it, because based on socioeconomic situations, you were forced to live in a certain neighborhood, and then people are coming into that neighborhood and kicking you out because the prices are going up. And like, that's the constant push-pull with gentrification, is like, yeah, it's cool that new business is coming in, but like, it's also ruining the community and the authenticity of these places like LA or Brooklyn or Harlem or all these places around the country.
Absolutely. It's kind of, it's evil. I think there should definitely be laws passed on like certain areas that where like you shouldn't do that, you know, just for the sake of making more money. I think that's, yeah, but I mean, that's the foundation of this country, though, you know.
Yeah.
Founding fathers put money above everything, so I guess they're just implementing that.
Yeah, I mean, with sports, money certainly comes into the fold as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty crazy. I mean, you got this one, you got The Way Back as well, you popped into that.
Oh, yeah.
I interviewed some of your castmates recently, and that just seemed like a really cool project, so how'd you get involved with that one?
It definitely was a dope project. I did an audition, and then when I first went out for that project, I had to shoot in Toronto, The Boys. So I missed like a few of the scrimmages, but then when I came back, then they had to test to see if I could really play basketball. And we did all that. The process was like 3 months.
Wow.
It was ridiculously long. I was just like, my God, like, just give me the role already, you know? But
you're like, I got some game, right?
Exactly,
I can ball,
right. So, but then after, you know, booking it, it was amazing. It was dope. Ben Affleck, he's a real cool dude. Me and him, we bonded with height, because I'm 6'3", he's 6'4".
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Yeah, big guy. And I was just telling him how, you know, sometimes I feel like I'm too tall. You know, because like my love interest for certain roles, they'll be like
5'3".
Yeah, you know, and I just literally a really big role that I really liked. I just got turned down from it, and I did the chemistry read and everything, me and the grad, chemistry, everything, and they was like, because of his height.
Wow. That's pretty surprising.
Yeah.
I mean, most actors are short in general, but like, it's not like you're 6'7".
I know, they make you feel like I'm Shaq. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's ridiculous. So. But anyway, he was just telling me, they told him he was too tall to be an actor, and now he's Ben Affleck, so. I
mean, it's so ridiculous. Like, if you have somebody that's good enough for the part, you have chemistry, which is really hard to establish, like, it's just these casting directors that can't see past certain things. And it happens with race, it happens with height, it happens with gender. It's just like, let somebody get the part, and then let's see how it goes. Because like, this is how people look in real life.
Yeah,
right?
that's true. And I think in this case, because it was like a biopic, I think
they wanted to try and get it a little bit closer.
They wanted to, because they didn't want the girl to look that short.
Sure.
And because we would be doing so much movement, because it was like a fighting movie, that she couldn't just stand on an apple box.
Right. Yeah, that would have been tough.
So yeah, but I was like, dang.
That makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, it was such a good project.
So you're in your 20s right now, you're building out your career. What has it been like for you? Because I mean, you've had some great stuff early on. What has been kind of the biggest surprise for you so far with everything?
Honestly, that's a really good question. I think the biggest surprise have been the level of stress that comes with this. Like,
so unpack that a little bit. What's been most stressful?
Like, you know, the saying, who much is given, much is required, is just so true. And I just think when you know, decided to embark on this journey and be in front of the television screen, I think we forget that you start to possess a small fraction of like a God-type power, because you become omnipotent.
Yeah.
Millions of people are able to see you at one time, you know what I'm saying, and talk about you, and then they look at you like a commodity now, you know? So it's just, that just garners different attention. So it's just like everything is amplified to what people ask you for, what people try to use you, you know, like, and everybody think you got it. Nobody thinks your problems are serious. If I'm like, you know, I'm going through it with something, they're just like, yeah, it's cool, but let me hold $2,000. You know what I'm saying?
We all got the same problems going on. It doesn't matter how much money you're making, what you're doing.
Exactly. So I just think that was really unexpected to really, because there was no way for me to understand the side effect of this. And I just feel like—
You had to live it first.
Exactly, you know, and it's just like everything in life has a side effect, and success, the side effects is just the level of stress that comes with it. But I think I have great people in my circle, so, you know, that's definitely, you know, helping me out with that. But yeah, it's not that glamorous, you know, unless you like the superficial lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? But it's gonna catch up to you, you know. Right. So it's like,
I think it's important you have that awareness. And when did you start to see it flip? Like, what was the first role that you got where you're like, all right, people are treating me differently, and this is kind of weird?
I remember it was grownish. It was grownish. I was playing Yara's like boyfriend or whatever, and I took her virginity on TV, whatever. And I just remember like, right after that, it's just like things just changed. Like, I was no longer seen as a human with feelings, and like now it's just changing. Like, you know, just people just think of me as like just a resource. You know, and
you're a commodity.
Exactly, and it's crazy. But not everyone is like that, you know, which is the great thing, because there's definitely great people out there that's not like that, and they don't care what the hell you do. But I definitely, after that role, it was just like, oh wow, people were really like, you know, seeing me in a certain way. But I'm definitely like managing everything better now. But you know, so
it's a lot. Do you feel like the name thing also played a part in it? Because like people aren't calling you by your name necessarily, your real name?
No.
No, that kind of brings you back home. Like that's still you and authentically you.
Yeah, I think I love when I go home when people call me Abe.
Right. Because that's
you know?
who you are, right?
Exactly.
Underneath
so
all
I think you know, Da Vinci is kind of like my uniform. You know, it's
and
like
you can take that uniform off.
Boom,
when you want
exactly.
To. Yeah.
And I can tell like, you know, how people where people know me from, based off of what they call me, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think it's a uniform. Everyone needs a uniform to go to work. So.
Yeah, I'm sure it feels good when you go home, people calling you Abe, and you're like, all right, these are my people.
Like, whew,
let me take a step back here.
Yeah.
So where were you at in your life when you were just Abe, like before all this hits? Like what did life look like for you? Because we were talking, it was Brooklyn, it was Jersey, it was Florida.
Yeah.
How did life look for you early on?
I was a badass kid growing up.
How so?
I was terrible. I remember I was, yeah, some of the stuff I can't say, but the stuff that I can say, yeah. So my father took me at 13 to live in Florida with him because I was like getting in a lot of trouble, getting D's and F's in school, and it just wasn't, you know, working out. So he took me and my other brother, and we were the two youngest. And when he took me to Florida, I was still getting in trouble. I went to court for something, and I was like so scared. I was like, yo, he's gonna kill me.
You weren't even afraid of the legal ramifications.
I wasn't.
I
didn't even care about that.
It was
I
your
was
dad.
just like, what? I'm like, you guys aren't gonna do nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? My father.
This is a whole different.
This
story.
motherfucker. You know, like. So, but thank God he was sick that day, so he didn't even have the energy to. So I was like, wow, that's God. But after that, it's just like I just started picking up books and just educating myself and just started learning. And I remember like shortly after that, what really like changed everything for me, I remember I was in class. You could say curse words here?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I remember when I was in class, because when I went to Florida, it was a predominantly white school, and I wasn't used to that at all. And I was in class and talking to one of my other black friends, and I was just like, and then this white girl, blonde hair, blue eyes, typical white girl, right? She was like, you week, it's your week, Y-O-U''RE, right? And I was just like, yo, like the vernacular that we use in Brooklyn
is not what you guys
use. Exactly. But it's like, I'm like, we choose to, but I'm like, okay, if you're gonna try to insult my intelligence in front of the whole class based off of my grammar, I was like, all right, cool, you got it. So right after that, I was just like, I'm gonna learn how to speak corporate American. And I just started just diving into books, educating myself, and my entire mentality on life just shifted. Because I just, like at that moment, I felt my color, because it was how it was done.
Right, and that was really the first time?
Yeah, it was the first time, and you know, and after that, different little things was happening to where it's like, you know, just racism and all this stuff. So I just realized like, I need to educate myself, and when I educate myself, people don't have to respect my physical appearance, but what comes out of my mouth, you're gonna respect. You don't have to like me, but you're gonna respect it.
Right.
And I think that's why wherever I go now is like, a lot of people, they respect me. They're like, oh wow, young man, you really, you know, you're well spoken. But I think it's because situations like that force me in that direction.
Yeah, I mean, it's BS you even had to deal with that, but I think it's cool how you've embraced it, because some people just get pissed about it.
That's
and
true.
I totally understand that.
Yeah.
You're like, you know what? Let me just prove people wrong. I'm going to do the work, and this is how I'm going to present myself.
Exactly.
I really give you a lot of credit for that.
No, I appreciate that, man.
That's just part of the deal that you have to go into with this stuff, whether it's life, whether it's work. I mean, people are going to put you in boxes, look at you a certain way, and you're just like, I'm going to prove you wrong. Watch me.
Yep. And that's just been my mentality. Just take whatever negative come my way and just try to flip it or learn from it the best way I can, you know?
Yeah, and just have the awareness that this is what life looks like, this is how people are going to treat me, this is how I'm going to roll.
Exactly. Because, you know, you can't change something. You got to just change the way you think about it. So I can't change my parents, you know what I'm saying? So I got to do something else.
Just let the action do all the talking for you.
Exactly. So, yeah.
I feel you. So what else would you like to do? I mean, you've done a ton of great stuff. What else piques your interest right now?
I think this year I'm definitely going to dive into the music more, probably like, you know, to acting to relax a little bit.
Yeah, take it on the back burner a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. Because when I first started off, I was doing music, but then it's like acting like took off so fast, and I was like, you know what?
That became
I can use acting to fund the music, so music can wait right now. But then now it's like I feel like I'm in a position to where it's just like, all right, I think the universe is aligning certain things to like, yo, start, you know, pushing that. So I definitely think that's going to be the next direction, and I definitely want to do a lot more movies. I want to do way more movies and TV shows.
Yeah. Why that? Why is that?
I think it's movies, you just have a flexibility, you know what I'm saying? You can shoot for 2 months and then you're just out.
Right.
A show, yo, that's like 6 months.
It's a long time.
6
months. And then it become very formulaic in those 6 months.
Yeah. And then you're tied to that show. You can't do anything without clearing it through the show.
Yeah.
So it's like, so it's good, it's great, but if you have like other avenues that you want to, you know, branch off, it can hinder you. Because some people see it like, yo, it's a good amount of money for those 6 months, which it is, but then it's just like, if you're playing your cards right, you can make that money in 3 months, you know what I'm saying, with so many different things.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and that becomes your whole year, just doing one show and maybe a couple little other things here and there.
Yeah.
But if you do a movie, you got some other things going,
exactly,
then you can make up all the money that you would make from the show.
Yep.
I feel
Absolutely.
You. So when people check out the show, if they haven't seen it, what are the big things you want them to walk away thinking?
That I think whatever problems you're going through, I think you should talk to someone and communicate, talk about it. It's like in this show, like everybody, whoever's going through whatever, you know, like in the beginning, my character and Spencer, the beef that we had, we talked about it in episode 7. We hashed it out. The girl, Olivia, who's played by Samantha, with her drug addictions, she talked about it. She got help. The husband and wife, you know what I'm saying, they got counseling. So I just feel like a lot of the times when we have problems, sometimes we don't talk about it. So I just think like it's cool to talk about it, you know, no matter how much your ego is telling you nah, like just talk about it and seek help, and you could definitely overcome it.
I think that's the best part of our world today. There's a ton of crazy stuff going on, but we could just talk all about it, deal with it,
Very true.
Work it out.
Very true. I think that's one of the greatest parts about this day and age.
Right. And that's our generation too. It's like we grew up talking about this stuff, whereas the generation ahead of us, like there weren't these conversations about mental health or domestic violence or this other stuff going on.
Mental health was considered just like you're retarded or something.
Yeah, it was taboo.
Yeah. So yeah, that's dope about this day and age.
Yeah, awesome. Well, good to meet you, man.
Likewise.
Why don't you tell everybody when they can check out the show?
Guys, the show will be coming on Netflix March 17th. You guys could binge it. You can watch it all in a day. Just let me know your feedback, and you guys share love. You guys tag me and whatever. I'll definitely repost it, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
Good deal. For Da Vinci, I'm DJ. See you next time. All right, let's sit down.